name is Moni.
And I'm Naveen from Before You Play.
And welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Board Games, where we pretty much just review games.
Yeah, so this is kind of like a grab bag of games that we're going to review. Also, there's a little bit of a topic. The Golden Geek Awards was just held recently, which we just found out just closed. So in our last video, we had mentioned it, and it was only up for like 12 more hours before it closed. So
yeah, we had no idea.
Had no idea.
We probably should have done more research before doing that. But if you were able to catch the vlog at that time and place your votes, thank you for doing that. So we're going to talk about it a little bit today. And then afterwards, we're going to discuss a few games. You know, usually we have like a theme for the games that we're going to review.
Yeah, like our last one was two-player only games.
Yeah.
Today is just grab bag of games.
Yes, we have a few games here. We've got an expansion. We have heavy. We have all sorts of games today. But first, we have not done a shout out in a long time. And we love, supporting other content creators because of, again, we both know how difficult it is to make content and to continue making content. So today we'd love to shout out a channel called Board Game Dave. His channel we started watching recently, and he just seems so nice. So, he makes a lot of different types of content. There's some solo stuff on there. It's all really, really high quality, really pleasant to watch. And I just feel happiness when I watch his content.
He speaks very well. It's like a very polite kind of demeanor. And so it's just very nice, casual watching.
Yeah, you just want to be friends with Dave, right? So highly recommend checking out his channel. We've included a link to his channel below. So please go ahead and check out his channel and give him a nice hello. And thank you so much, Dave, if you're watching this, for all that you do. All right, so before we get into the reviews, we wanted to briefly discuss the Golden Geek Awards. If you're not familiar with this awards, it happens every year through BGG. And so we've included a link down below to the list of winners if you'd like to check it out. A majority of it is different categories for board games, so heavy game of the year, party games, artwork. There's a whole variety of awards on there. And one of them is also a yearly award for best podcast. Today, we are representing the Board Game Barrage. They won first place this year, so big congrats to our friends over at the Board Game Barrage.
Yeah, they've been doing the podcast for about 4 years, and this is their first year winning, so congrats.
They are one of our all-time favorite podcasts as well, and also just all-around great people, and we are both very, very, very happy for them. If you don't listen to them already, highly suggest that you do, because they're just so entertaining. All right, let's talk about some games. Are you ready?
Yep, let's do it. We have them right here.
Okay, let's start with the smallest one.
Physically,
first, the physically
smallest box.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Fort, designed by Cole Worley and the art by Kyle Farron, who was also part of the Golden Geek Awards.
Yes.
For Oath, I believe.
Yeah, we did not discuss the rest of the categories, by the way, because there are a lot of games on there that we haven't played.
Yeah.
So we just didn't really feel comfortable discussing them too much. But yes, one of the categories is for best artwork.
That's what's cool about artwork. You don't have to play the games to appreciate it.
I believe Ryan Lockett for Sleeping Gods won, which, by the way, Ryan Lockett, amazing.
Yeah, very impressive.
Yeah, he does everything.
Designs, publishes, and does the artwork.
And the artwork is stunning. So congrats to you.
Yeah.
But one of the runners-up was specifically Oath. Kyle Farron does, I believe, all of the illustrations for Leader Games, including Fort. And I am a huge Kyle Farron fan, so this one is no exception. We're not reviewing Fort. We've covered Fort before on our channel. We're actually reviewing the expansion to Fort.
That's right.
So this is the one expansion that we're going to be talking about today, and it's very cute. It fits in the box.
It fits in the box. Oh, I love that.
That is the cool part.
That's the best. It's especially when it's something like this, which is a deck of cards.
Yeah.
So if you just had this not fitting in this box and it's just a random place on your shelf, who knows what's going to happen.
That would be so awful.
Perfectly fits right in the box right there.
The entire thing, too. Yeah. You don't have to take the cards out to fit it right inside.
That's nice.
So this is the expansion to Fort. I believe there's only been one so far. It's kind of like a mini expansion. It's so small.
Yeah.
And it's called the Fort Cats and Dogs expansion.
It's like pets. Yeah.
Yes. We finally were able to play it. In my opinion, every game should have a Cats and Dogs expansion. Brilliant job here, Leader Games.
Yeah.
This is kind of a modular expansion in that there are two different expansions in there, actually, and you can choose which ones to play with. You can play with both. For the dogs, it adds dog cards, and those are just like the kid cards that you have in your hand. Each player also has a dog house now, and so if you ever play a dog card, you have to meet the requirements that it says on the card in order to do it, and then you resolve whatever the effects are, and the dog goes underneath your dog house afterwards. It gets taken out of circulation. At the end of the game, whoever has the most dog cards in their doghouse will score, I believe, 7 points.
Yeah, there's
Something like
there's
that.
some sort of I can't remember now.
It incentivizes you to play the dog cards. You're not always going to be able to.
Right.
And so if you ever have a dog card in your yard at the start of your turn, instead of getting discarded into your discard pile, it actually gets rotated to your opponent's discard pile.
Right.
So the dog cards are always kind of circulating until they're utilized.
Until they have found a home in their doghouse by satisfying what's said on the card.
As for the cats expansion, it adds these cat cards that are very similar to like the perks or the made-up rule cards. If you're familiar with those, they're the smaller cards that you can kind of get throughout the game. The difference is with the cats, you attract them.
Yep.
Not all of them are good.
Yes.
Some of them have bad effects, as Naveen can attest to.
Yeah, so the one would be if you ever discard 3 or greater cards into your yard at the end of your turn, then you're going to attract this one cat. And then this one cat was like, if you want to build your fort, it's going to cost you an additional resource. So the cats are kind of like this hot potato. So once somebody triggers it, if that cat was stifling me, and Monique now triggers it on her turn, then it leaves my location and it gets attracted to hers, stifling her. Some of them are good, but that particular one I'm talking about was a bad cat.
Yeah. The cats will rotate depending on when people meet the requirements. And at the end of the game, you can score additional points depending on how many cats that you have still with you. And that's pretty much all there is to this expansion. You know, like I said, it is a mini expansion. It comes in a small box and it just gets, lumped in right into the box. Yeah. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, it's good. I think I would always play with it probably. And I like the idea of having both of them in play. We only did play it 2-player, so I don't really know how much movement there is with the dogs and the cats in a higher player count. Like
it feels like it would be more impactful at higher player counts because of how few cats you play with in a 2-player game, because it's dependent on player count, as well as just the rotational aspect of the dogs. Seems like something that would be better at higher player counts. I think it's great. I don't necessarily think I would always play with them. I think it was fun because we played with both of them at the same time. You don't need to do that. If you really just want to play with the cats, you can do that. And I think that in my opinion, there are going to be situations where I would just play with the cats or something.
Gotcha.
But I think it's fantastic. It's kind of a no-brainer expansion, right? It's very, very small. It doesn't really take up space. It's very cost-effective. And if you love Fort, like we do, I love Fort.
Yeah, we like the same a lot.
It just enhances the game. And it's so cute. It is so cute. The animals, the artwork, Kyle Farron, just so good.
Okay, we have another game. This is a fully cooperative experience published by the Op and designed by 2 different designers, Jay Cormier and Senfong Lim, also known as...
The Bamboozle Brothers.
Yes, there you go. This is like I said, fully cooperative experience. It technically can be played 1 player. It's a lot to manage if you were just playing it solo.
Yeah, it's like a mystery narrative escape room game.
Yes.
This is not the only one in the line of escape room type games from the Op. There's also the Scooby-Doo, I think it's called Escape from the Haunted Mansion.
Which we have not played.
We have not played, no. But they are both very thematic in their own themes, right? This is the Goonies. If you're a big fan of the Goonies, this is probably one that you want to check out. But it's, without giving anything away, it's basically a narrative escape room.
Yes.
So there are a bunch of books that all pertain to the different characters from the Goonies movie. You're trying to solve this mystery that is very related to the movie story. And each character can do a specific ability, like they can use items or they can explore, stuff like that. And you're basically looking in their books, reading what they have to say about the different things that you see on the map. And then trying to solve the different puzzles to try to solve the mystery.
Yeah, to move along on your little journey. It's kind of like an adventure that you're going to find yourself in. If you're familiar with the Goonies, you'll understand kind of what's going on in this game. You'll have a little bit of a leg up compared to somebody who doesn't know the Goonies.
Absolutely. It's very much so in line with the movie, if you're familiar with it. I will say, we did not finish the entire thing. It's kind of long.
It is.
It's played in 3 acts. There's an intermission in between, so you can play it in several sessions, but you can also just play the entire thing at once. It is definitely narrative, and we say that because there's a difference between just a regular escape room game like the Unlock series or the Exit series, where it's just a bunch of puzzles and you kind of just try to do it in an hour, versus a narrative where there's so much reading. It's a lot of emphasis on the story, and solving the puzzles kind of intertwined with the story.
Yeah, there's like character dialogue that's going on as you're kind of going through these different, I don't want to give anything away, these different like mysteries. Yeah, so you have to be prepared for that. if you want to just kind of get into the puzzles, you do have to kind of read in between certain lines and kind of understand like where the story is going if you want to get that full experience.
Yes. So if you know that you enjoy narrative mysteries, this is definitely one to check out, especially if you like the Goonies.
Yes.
I would say that this is a family game, although there are adult themes. You know, there's some adult themes that are in line with the regular Goonies story anyway. If you know that you cannot stand reading for long periods of time, like the two of us are very different in that. I don't mind the reading, but Naveen does not like doing narrative.
I'm not a fan of reading out loud to the group. I don't know why. I've always been that way.
And it's constant. It's constant reading out loud. So, but otherwise, if you do like that stuff, this is a fantastic game.
Puzzles wise, like
fun.
once you get into the puzzles and you're trying to go through the different scenarios of what you're kind of thrown and thrust into. It's pretty cool. Also, kind of the timer of the game as to like what you're trying to avoid in the pitfalls, without again giving anything away, is cool. The system that they have
cool.
there,
really cool. Anyway, that is the Goonies from the Up. All right, next up we actually have another expansion. I lied earlier.
Right. Yes.
For some reason I didn't realize that this was an expansion because of how big it is.
Boom.
But this is an expansion that we were trying to save for an expansion themed Let's Talk Board Games episode, but we have not been able to play the other expansions that were going to go along with it. So we decided, let's just talk about this now.
Let's just talk about it.
This is the big expansion for The Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Highly anticipated. It's now here.
Yes,
and so,
it's been here for months now.
For months now,
It's called Expedition Leaders. If you're not familiar with The Lost Ruins of Arnak, this is a really, really popular Euro game. We actually covered it on our channel as well. We have a playthrough of it. And this expansion adds asymmetric character abilities. There are also 2 new temples to explore. We have not explored both of them. We kind of focused on the leaders aspect because I feel like that is the main point of the expansion. Yeah,
it gives you a little bit of an asymmetric power. You start off the game with the leader, and that kind of gives you a little bit more focus as to what you're going to focus on in the game. So I played as the professor, I think it was. Who are you most recently?
We've played as several of them. We have not each played as all of them.
That's right.
That makes sense.
Exactly.
I forgot his name, but basically my character that I most recently played had a third explorer.
That's right.
And I think you were most recently the character that incentivized you to take artifacts,
yes, right? Yeah. So it was like, this is the goal of my game, try to figure out how I can squeeze the most out of these artifacts to get ahead. It was interesting. That particular one, you have to spend certain resources that would help you go up on the temple tracks. So I felt like I wasn't moving up on the temple tracks because I was like, I'm going to focus on my asymmetric kind of faction ability.
Yeah.
So I think there's probably a delicate balance between how much I want to focus there versus do all the other things.
Yeah.
So I just said, you know what, I'm just going to go all in on this.
I think that is my biggest probably criticism of the expansion. In general, I think the expansion is good. Yeah. If you enjoyed Lost Ruins of Arnak, it's not essential, in my opinion. It's not essential, but it makes it fun. I like asymmetry, though.
Yeah.
I look for asymmetry, actually, in games. So for me, maybe I'm a little bit more biased for that kind of experience. But I think that it makes the game more fun. It's just that the leaders are not balanced.
It felt that way.
It feels like my leader was way sweeter than Naveen's.
It just like when we like said, okay, everybody read what your leader does, and I was like, mine does artifacts, and then you were like, I have a third
explorer.
Person. I was like, I want that. Like, can I have?
Yeah.
Can I have that? Like,
there's another leader that has snacks that allows you to move your explorer on the board to the various snacks, so you can basically hop from place to place.
That's right. But you only have, I think, one meeple.
But it's really cool. That was a really good one.
Trumps, yeah.
There's another one who is an eagle trainer, I think.
That's right. Yeah.
And you can decide when to reap the benefits, these extra benefits that are on their board.
Yeah.
And that one felt really powerful if you can use the timing on that.
Timing,
right?
You have to be a very timing efficient player. I think that player is the one that won. The person who played as that one. So it was good. It is fun. I really do appreciate the asymmetry in this game. Right. You could go down, your path, or you can just, play Lost Ruins and kind of, just dabble in your asymmetry.
Yeah. And that's about it. It is extra content for people who really enjoy the base game and want to try additional temples, and it just makes the game more fun.
Yeah, and it doesn't complicate the game. We taught it to somebody with the expansion.
Yes,
this is their first
time
ever playing, and he picked up on it, no problem. It was very, very straightforward.
That is The Lost Ruins of Arnak Expedition Leaders. Yep. All right, next up we have a game that was a runner-up in the Golden Geek Awards.
Yes, for the Lights Award, I believe. And this is
right.
Seven Wonders Architects. This is a 2 to 7 player game designed by Antoine Bauza and published by Repos Productions, I believe.
By the way, if we've already spoken about any of these games in a previous episode, we deeply apologize. For some reason, we had like a moment of, didn't we already talk about this game?
Yeah, I thought
but
we talked
couldn't
about this.
find it.
Yeah.
So we figured, let's just talk about
Let's
it now.
talk about it. Let's talk board games.
If you're not familiar with Seven Wonders, this is the original game that this is based off of. This is supposed to be like a more streamlined, lighter version of Seven Wonders, which is a very popular game that brought a lot of people into the hobby, including ourselves.
Yeah.
And that was primarily a drafting game. So drafting, there's a lot of player interaction, you're building up your wonders over the course of like 3 eras, that kind of thing.
Yep.
In this game, Seven Wonders Architects, everybody has their own wonder, and it actually comes with different trays that are specific to your wonder. So you just take that out and you take all your pieces, and it includes your own asymmetric deck as well. There'll be a main deck in the middle of the table, a deck in between you and the person to your left, as well as one in between you and the person to your right. And one of them is going to be your specific deck. The other one's going to be your opponent's deck that comes with their wonder. And basically on your turn, you draw a card and you do the thing. So it's going to be like something like collecting resources or going to war, doing science, very much things that are have to do with the original game, Seven Wonders.
Yeah, the iconography is very, very similar, if not the same, from the original Seven Wonders.
But on a much lighter scale. And that's it. On your turn, you draw a card, you do the thing, and it moves on to the next player's turn.
Yep.
So I believe the game ends when somebody has constructed their wonder.
That's
and
the
then
ultimate goal.
You do scoring. There's a little bit more to it than that, but that is the basic structure of how the game is played. I understand that this is like a more streamlined, lighter version of the original game, but this one honestly really fell flat for me.
Yeah, same. But I don't know if that's because like we've already played like regular Seven Wonders, and so we, it's hard to go back to strip down a game and find as much enjoyment in that game, I guess.
Yeah, I definitely think that it has a lot to do with just the breadth of games that we have to go through, on a weekly basis or so. We are definitely biased in that sense. We have reviewers biased. Like any board game reviewers, they play so many games. So the comparative nature, I suppose, for titles like this can be a little bit unfair.
Yeah.
We did play with a couple of people around the table, one of which is a new gamer
Just
in
new
general.
to games,
New to gaming. He really enjoyed the game.
Really enjoyed it. Yeah.
And as well as our friend who is not a new gamer, and she enjoyed the game as well. So I don't know, just for the two of us, it fell flat because they're going to have turns where you're literally just drawing a card.
Draw a card. Now I have now I have this cube, and so now your turn.
So the decision making just wasn't that interesting, I guess, for us, even for a light game, right?
Yep.
I just think that there are other games in this category that we would just prefer to play over something like this. I do appreciate the look of the game and the production value and just all of the work that went into constructing those like trays and stuff like that.
Yeah, speaking of those trays, this makes setup time a breeze. Like you literally just open the box. Okay, who do you want to be? Okay, here's your tray, here's your deck. Shuffle them, set them out. You're ready to go.
Right, yeah.
And so, like for a lighter game or a gateway game, this would not hold anybody back from like pulling it off the shelf and being like, okay, let's play.
Yeah, the barriers to getting the game out and playing it are just non-existent.
Yeah,
this one's really easy to get into.
Yeah.
There are definitely good qualities here if you're interested in Seven Wonders and want to do something lighter, and you can try checking this out.
Yep.
I'm actually curious to know if anybody out there has played this game. What are your thoughts on it? It clearly, it won. It's a runner-up.
Yep.
For that award. So there are people out there who really do enjoy the game.
Yeah.
I would just love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
So anyway, that is Seven Wonders Architects.
Yep.
All right, for our final game, this is the heaviest game in the entire lineup, and it's a game that we've been wanting to cover this for so long.
We wanted to do a playthrough of this, but it's just timing is just so hard to do.
Yeah.
But this is Bonfire, designed by Stefan Feld and published by Pegasus Spiele as well as Hull Games. It's a 1 to 4 player experience. We've not played solo, but we have played it at other player counts.
Yes.
So
this is his heaviest game, his heaviest, most recent game.
Yes.
His heaviest game as of late.
As of late. His most recent heavy game.
Yes.
Yes.
We've been wanting to put out a playthrough for this, just like Naveen said, but playthroughs take so long to make. So it's been slipping through the cracks, just constantly slipping through the cracks. And we finally figured, let's at least talk about it.
You should talk about it.
So that people, know about this game at least. In this game, there is a bonfire. It has kind of a fantastical theme. There's a bonfire. There are, I don't remember what they're called now. There are beings.
Druids, I think, or something
that are trying to gather around the bonfire for a ceremony.
Yes.
And I can never remember the specifics of the theme. I just know that
think
one board.
I think like the fire has been extinguished through the lands, and
Yeah.
you're trying to like satisfy the gods to bring back fire.
Something like that. So there is a bonfire on one side of the board. On the other side of the board, there's a map that you're going to be going around with your boat. So there's a pick up and deliver aspect that is very reminiscent to me of the Oracle of Delphi.
Yes.
Which Naveen has been thinking about for a long time.
I have been.
Each player also has their own player board that has sort of like the action selection mechanism, as well as another player board where you're going to be doing this like tile laying abstract part.
Yeah, to enhance how many actions you can take.
And which ones
you can take.
Right?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to describe without actually seeing the board, but yeah, it's kind of a hodgepodge of a bunch of different mechanisms. But for me, it works really, really well. I'm a big Steffenfeld fan. I know there's some people that like him, some people that are lukewarm about him, and some people that love him. I'm more in the category of love his designs. I don't think I've ever sat down to one of his games and was like, I really detest this.
I honestly think Steffenfeld is one of your favorite designers.
I think so, yeah.
Just from the games that we've been playing and hearing Naveen talk about them, he's very hit or miss for me. Mainly hit, though.
Yeah.
I do really like a majority of the titles that we've played. They're just some older titles that I've been burned by really badly, but not this one. This one is the one that we really, really enjoy. It's really hard to just explain the summary of the game without showing you the components and like doing a whole like playthrough for it.
We
will still do a playthrough of
I
this.
think so.
Don't know when specifically, but it's
a
fantastic.
fun experience. Yeah.
I had a really good time playing this, especially at the 3-player count that we did. And I remember just the entire experience. We were both like, God, this game is so fun. Like, why didn't we play this sooner?
Yeah. We've had this game sitting around for like, a year, and now we're finally playing it. So
it's just a mix of that abstract bit where you're trying to get those tiles to take actions, trying to figure out, okay, I really need to take that specific action around the bonfire, but I need to rotate it so many times. And in order to do this, it's a lot of planning. And then also there's a race bit. There's a race aspect
timing race
with the map where you're trying to get certain things that really is reminiscent of the Oracle of Delphi. It kind of captures what we both really enjoyed about the Oracle of Delphi in that one aspect.
And just one part of this game.
So if you're interested in heavy games, or if you like Steffenfeld, maybe you haven't tried Bonfire, highly recommend playing this one. We both really, really enjoyed it. So that's it. Those are all the games that we were talking about today.
What did we talk about? 5 different games?
Hodgepodge
of stuff.
We will be back again in a couple of weeks for that expansion episode that we've been trying to get done for a while. But until then, thank you so much for watching our video. Thank you for sticking along, through our journey and all of that. And again, big congrats to the Board Game Barrage for winning Best Podcast. And check out Board Game Dave.
Thank you all so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to see more videos like this in the future, please consider subscribing.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.